We like to say on the Daily Rundown, if it's Tuesday, someone is voting somewhere. And today, that somewhere is in South Carolina. Mark Sanford is hoping to make a political comeback in the first net Republican runoff in the 1st Congressional District in South Carolina. The winner of the race will face a pretty decent Democratic candidate in Elizabeth Colbert Bush in May. So let's bring in our Tuesday gaggle. Robert Costa, Washington, D.C. editor for the National Review and a CNBC contributor, associate editor for the Hill newspaper, A.B. Stoddard, and Democratic strategist and former spokesman for the DCCC, Doug Thornell. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Mr. former DCCC spokesperson. You're the DCCC. They have to make this decision of playing in a race that they can win in a special and probably not hold in a general election. How does a conversation like that take place inside the DCCC?
Well, we had it in 2007 and 08 in Louisiana and Mississippi, two specials that were ruby red districts, and we looked at after the Republican was determined. We polled, we looked at the...
And it was close, and you had an opportunity.
Right, and they were short sprints like this, and we made the assumption that it was worth it to compete in this district, win the seat, that even if we have to defend it and it's a tough race in November, that still spreads resources from Republicans in November. And of course it's easier to win as an incumbent. But I think if you're a Republican right now, this is a district that Romney won by 18 points, and right now Colbert Bush is ahead of either of these two, and that has to be disappointing for them.
And Robert, is the better candidate? Who is the better candidate here? I mean, is Sanford have a ceiling that he's just not going to get more than 51 or 52 on his best day in a matchup?
It's a great question. And when you talk to national Republicans, they're a little nervous. They think Sanford or whoever wins this primary runoff is going to be fine in November. But do you want Mark Sanford even coming back to politics? They kind of wish he just stayed out of it. So a lot of Republicans are very wary of Sanford's return. They think he's going to probably win today, but it's not necessarily being embraced here in D.C.
And not only that, but A.B., put some perspective on this. Can you believe he's made the comeback? I mean, I just, I guess the only thing that would shock me more is if John Edwards was able to win a Democratic primary for a dog catcher.
Right. I don't think he has a chance to fall out of his hole, but I think that Mark Sanford was very shrewd. He went to his old friends. He has a very good record, as Bostic pointed out himself, as a congressman and a governor. He was never in any moral or ethical trouble in office until the girlfriend. He has thrown himself on his knees, which evangelicals and everybody saying, love the sin or hate the sin. I don't think he's that popular. He probably has a ceiling, but it's easy to see him winning, and it's easy to see him, if things go right for him in the campaign and things don't go great for Bush, it's easy to see him winning this.
So basically, the nightmare for him would be to face a woman in a general... Oh, right, he's facing a woman. I mean, this is what makes it, I think, her candidacy even more formidable.
And she's a good candidate.
Her resume is very good, and she's
a good Democrat candidate.
She's still green. I think you see some greenness in her.
Right, but she doesn't have a long voting record for Republicans.
That's true.
And I love that that's what makes a good candidate. I'm sorry. Oh, look, they don't have a voting record. Great. They have no resume. Great.
But
no, actually,
for the NRCC, when they're picking through her resume, and she's a businesswoman, and look, his numbers are upside down. So, I think he does have a favorability issue.
Republicans are going to run Hollywood against her. I mean, that Stephen Colbert connection, it's fun for us here in Washington to giggle about that and say, oh, she's the sister of a big comedian. But look, down in South Carolina, that doesn't always play.
Yeah, but
I think it's not going to be about her. She says her name is.
And is this race ever going to be about her? If Sanford's in the runoff, is it ever about her?
I don't think it is going to be about her.
I think it's ever about her.
It is if they do an effective link between Steve Colbert and Elizabeth Colbert Bush. But if they find something, Doug, in her past, in her business record, that doesn't go well for her, and the race is running smoothly for Sanford, he wins. She's a very promising candidate.
All right. I wish we were talking about more races.
I think A.B.'s right, though. They've shrugged this off in South Carolina.
It does seem to be. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk a little guns. But trivia, we asked Congressman Jim Clyburn.